So I just wanted to talk a little bit about something that I've thought on for some time now, and that subject is jealousy. So I've struggled, and we've all struggled with being jealous at times. You see somebody else's success, and you wish it was your own. A lot of times it's because you didn't work hard enough to get what they have, and you feel like they must not have worked very hard to get it either because you hadn't done it. Well, what I've come to understand is that it's a lot better to be happy for somebody than to be jealous of them. And the reason for that is because you don't understand what they've gone through. And the reason that I bring this up is I saw a meme on the internet, right? Or maybe not a meme, it might not be that popular, I don't know. But I saw a picture on the internet and it showed a iceberg, right? And so we all know what an iceberg is. You have just a large chunk of ice in the water. Well, the majority of that ice is underwater, okay? And so at the tip of the iceberg was the word success. And that is the part that's visible. That's what you see. You see, okay, this is what they've got. They've got this car, they've got this much money, they've got this girl, they've got whatever, and that's the success that you see. And then underneath that water was the words struggle, strife, loss, pain, suffering, damage, all of these negative things. And this is what you don't understand about somebody's success. You don't know exactly what they've gone through to get that. And so it's easy. Yeah, you see let's say a 30-year-old guy and he's driving a Ferrari and you think, well, yeah, obviously his father was rich and he didn't do anything to deserve that. But what you don't see is that maybe he did struggle. Maybe he did put himself up from the bottom, or herself, it doesn't matter. Um, invested in the right places, made the right risks, the right decisions. Maybe they've lost. Maybe they've started a business and failed. Maybe they've done multiple businesses and failed. You know, um, you don't see the things that they've gone through to get there. And so in order to be jealous, what you have to do is you have to be in a bad place in your own life. Um, and you've probably gotten in that bad place on your own merit, or rather your own demerit, because you're not happy with where you're at. You're going to be jealous of somebody else's success rather than happy for them. I think that it's a lot better to be happy for somebody, um, and maybe envious to a point, but envy is a little different than jealousy, at least I think so. Where when you're talking envy, you admire the position that they're in and what has taken them, what they've gone through to get to that position. Whereas jealousy is more you just want what they have and not necessarily want to have to go through what they went through to get there. And so what I've started to do, well, within the last probably 5 years, really, I've thought about it a lot, is I don't get jealous over people's success anymore. In fact, I'm very happy when people are successful, because when I see that people are successful, that means that the ability is there to get what you want in life. Why I'm saying this, I don't really know. Like I say, I saw this on the internet and I thought it'd be worth talking about, because I do see, unfortunately, a lot of jealousy out there. Um, and I am by no means successful myself, at least how I would define success. I do have a comfortable life, but there's definitely a lot out there that I would rather have. That means that I need to work harder to get it. But there are a lot of people out there who, well, don't necessarily feel like I deserve what I do have. And they've been vocal about that. And I can only imagine how it feels to be much more successful than me, because you would have even more people jealous of what you have and trying to put you down, making it seem as if you didn't do anything to deserve what you have. Uh, and like I say, with this whole iceberg situation, it's easy to say that somebody's lived a privileged life when you haven't lived their life. Um, and I can go on and on about the whole white privilege thing, because that's bogus completely. Because there's no privilege based on race or gender or anything else. There is privilege, but that privilege is not based on skin color or anything else. It's based on, you know, uh, socioeconomic status, maybe of your parents, and where you grew up. But I think in large part it's more privilege of intelligence and genetics. and drive, because you could be highly intelligent but have no drive, and you're not going to be successful. And you can be dumb as a box of rocks and have high drive and still be successful. So, you have a balance there. So there is some privilege in that regard, but there's no way to determine that other than genetics. I mean, you can gain some intellect through nature, through nurture, but for the most part, it's nature. And you can debate that with me if you want, but that's the truth. It's a genetic inheritance. Your innate intelligence is usually determined at birth. So I guess where I'm going with this is people have struggled their entire lives, childhood lives, early adulthood, and still come out successful, but you don't see that. And so I would say don't be jealous of anybody, because the only person that you can blame for not being successful is yourself. You can't blame your parents, you can't blame your race, you can't blame your sex, your sexual orientation, anything else. And that's something that's become very prevalent in this day and age, is to blame somebody else for your failings. And I completely disagree with that. Because in the country that we're living in right now, the United States of America, there is absolutely no limit to what you can do. And I see that with myself. I'm very happy to be a mechanic and to work on cars and to be able to know my customers and know that I'm making them happy and know that their cars are still on the road because of me. And that's not to say that this is the pinnacle of my career, because it's not. I mean, I could make more money doing other things, even within this field. But I'm happy with where I'm at. And I guess where I'm going with this is that success is defined by you, but I would never say to ever down somebody for what they have in life, especially when you don't understand the circumstances and the situations they've gone through to get there. I don't really do vlogs or whatever, so it might be a little weird, but just kind of felt like getting it out there, maybe get somebody to think that the way that I do, to make the world kind of a better place, really. Because if people are less, I guess jealous is the only word I can think of, I mean, if people are less jealous of each other, envy is okay, but less jealous of each other, there would be a lot less negativity in the world. Because if everybody was happy for what other people have done, they would understand that that is an intrinsically personal choice on how successful you are. Other than, like what I said, intelligence, and there's nothing you can do about that. If you're not intelligent, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to be driven, and you could still succeed. Because in general, success is based mostly on risk. And obviously, if you're more intelligent and driven, chances are that you'll have to go through a little less risk in order to be successful. Now, if you're less intelligent and you're highly driven, you might have to fail a lot more times before you reach that success, because you might not have the best ideas. But somebody that fails 100 times will still be more successful or have more chances of success than somebody who's highly intelligent but is only worth taking 1 or 2 risks in life. And I think this is something that can guide us throughout our entire lives with all decisions we make, and that could be career choices or personal relationships or friendships or anything. Because the more the more spears you throw into the sea, then the more whales you might hit, I guess. I don't know if that's a thing, but that's what I just came up with. I don't know, I guess I should stop ranting, but the bottom line is that I don't think jealousy has any place in the world, really. Not to say that everybody does deserve what they have, but if they don't, then who cares? But I think that it's important to look at ourselves and understand that we're the limiting factors in our lives. And I guess that's what I just want people to understand is that you can do pretty much anything. I mean, we can't all be rocket scientists. We don't all have that brain power, but you can succeed, and maybe your goal for success needs to be a little lower than some others, or maybe a little higher. Um, but you can succeed. But if you're jealous of somebody else, all you're going to do is stagnate, because you're going to continually um, uh, not understand the actual struggle that it takes to be successful, and so you'll never take on that struggle yourself, because you'll feel like it's more fair just to be handed something rather than to work for it. So take that for what you will.